Hey y'all, it's Samaya the American checking in, and today I will be telling you all about my hunting trip that I went on. Non-typical outdoorsman. It is a minority-led organization that promotes diversity in hunting and outdoor sporting activities. In order to go there, you have to have at least a fishing license or a hunting license. When I went, I had used my temporary hunting license because you can get one, for a day or a couple days, for people that are traveling or apprenticeship. So I got the apprenticeship hunting license, and it has like specific licensing depending on what type of animals you're going to be hunting that you would click on through the Department of Natural Resources website. So that's what I used when I went, was that temporary license. It only cost $15, however, to get the fishing license. So if that's all you wanted to do, to be able to go to one of the WMA ranges in Georgia, then you could just pay that $15 and it's good for the whole year, with the fishing license. So there we shot rifles there with scopes. And of course it was fun. It was fun. Now the WMA is, a little bit on the stricter side with making sure that you follow all of their rules for using their ranges. They have people around to assist you or correct you on, whatever it is that you're doing wrong. So it is very clean and state of the art. I will say the one that we went to was very clean. They had digital targets. So it's a screen at each shooting stall thing. Yeah. So, there's an interactive screen at each shooting stall that you go to where you can see exactly where you shot at on the target, which is actually pretty cool. So my shots were pretty much clustered in like the same areas. So it was a good sign that, I could potentially be able to shoot in the right position when I went hunting. But however, we realized that it was still muzzleloader season in Georgia when we went, and regular rifle season didn't start till the next weekend after our hunting trip. So we ended up using the muzzle loaders, which I was just a little nervous about because all of the required maintenance that you have to do to those guns in order for them to shoot out properly, even, the way that you have to stick the bullet thing in there, and you have to stick the I forgot what you call the stick thing that you have to stick in there and pour the powder in there. Like, it's just a lot, and making sure that it's clean and stuff so that the accuracy of where you're shooting is on point. So it is a lot with the muzzle loaders, but I was like, just have to make the best of it. So our trip was in Keysville, Georgia. We went down there on a Friday and we left on a Sunday. So Friday night we just went and we practiced shooting and got ready for the morning time hunt. I didn't go on a morning time hunt at 6 o'clock in the morning because we didn't have enough guns to utilize then. So I said that I'll just stay back. And the other lady that had went, one of the other ladies, she did end up shooting a deer that morning, and it was great, you know. I did get to see them quarter. Well, the first time with her deer, they actually gutted her deer. You know, they pulled it up in the tree and everything and tied it. And I seen them, like, this guy looked like he was a professional with it. And it was very amazing to see. I wasn't disgusted at all. So I was, you know, excited about that. And she kept the skull of her deer, which the picture of it, the guy who actually gutted it had like fixed up the skull and stuff for her. So I didn't go on the first hunt. So that morning, I went on the one in the evening time. In the evening time, it was right before dark because you can only, I think you can hunt 30 minutes after sundown, I believe is what it was. So we went out like deep in the woods a little. It was kind of deep for me. We went out deep in the woods and we looked at some other prints that were out. I seen the coyote print, and we seen, you know, the scuffs that a buck does. We seen some of those also. But we sat out there. We didn't end up seeing any deer that time, so I was just like, oh, it's all right, though. I just knew, you know, my time to shine would come maybe the next time. So the next day was our last day on Sunday. Sunday morning, we got up at 6 something in the morning, went down to this other spot. This spot was in a different part of the woods. It was down a road, you know, it was like this little roadway that was there with woods in between. It was a beautiful scenery, actually. I sat in a tent this time, you know, one of those hunting tents, and it was very peaceful sitting there, I guess you could say, because we could hear all the noises of the woods, different animals that my mentor was pointing out. We heard a hawk, squirrels, you know, just noises. I didn't know what they were, but you know, he says that a good hunter should be able to identify, you know, different noises that you may hear from that animals are making nearby. And so my mentor put out some corn, you know, to the edge of the woods. So we made sure that we were sitting in the, you know, a good spot, and that the wind was blowing in a good direction, you know, so the deer couldn't like smell us or anything when they came. And we actually started hearing there was deer walking through the woods to the right side of us. I couldn't see them that well because I was sitting in front where the little opening was, but my mentor could see them and tell me, oh, they're standing right over there. So it took a while before they actually came out and I could see them. And there were two does that had came out that I seen standing next to each other. It was like they were trying to get a feel of the atmosphere first before they actually came out by the roadway, you know, to the edge of the woods. And she came out, and one of them came out, and I seen her. She came towards the edge and stood there for a while, and then she walked back, you know, for a while. So it was just a waiting game. And then she comes back out, and there was, you know, the other one was there. Both of them were side by side, eating. So of course I couldn't take a shot of her standing side by side, even though it was still like a perfect shot. It was like I did get the opportunity to have like the perfect shot a few times. Like I could actually take my time. It wasn't like a quick moment for me, but after the other deer stepped back and the other one was there, you know, she looked up at me, and I was advised not to shoot while she was looking at me, so I didn't. So she put her head back down and she started eating, and so I took the shot. Now, when I did take the shot, I guess I wasn't in an ideal position, because even when we went to like the range, when you see people, there were a lot of other men out that were, you know, getting their guns ready, getting ready for hunting season. Some people I know, they shoot off of tripods, and they have these little cubes at the range for you to position your gun in to hold it in place. So while we were out, we learned, you know, to lean forward and sit the front of the gun, like hold it in the front of my hand, and then, you know, have the other part on my shoulder where I'm looking. But while I was out in this tent, y'all, I couldn't be making all that noise. I already had my gun like in a position and just had it hanging over the tent, but the way how my legs and stuff were positioned and how close I was to the inside front part of the tent, I'd be making like too much noise. It would have scared her off if I actually like leaned forward and try to stick it in my hand. So I was just like, you know, my mentor was like, oh, you could rest in your hand. But I just held it, you know, as steady as I could. And, you know, I'm sorry, I'm a hand talker. So I'm trying to hold out, but I can't. I'm such a hand talker, but I could not, I couldn't keep it together. Okay, I'm sorry. I am a hand talker. I'm just letting you guys know that. But my mentor was like, you can rest it in your hands if you want to, but I really did not have, I felt like I would definitely be making too much noise trying to rest the front of the gun in my hand. So I just held it. I held it steady. You know, I don't breathe that hard anyway, so it wasn't hard for me to like just hold it steady, and I still was breathing. But you know how you can like play dead and, you know, slow your breathing down a little bit. So I just slowed it down to make it less pronounced, so I wouldn't have to worry about if I breathe up, then I'm gonna be moving around too much when I took my shot. So I just held it in my hand. I exhaled halfway down before I pulled the trigger, you know, and I made sure I was aiming at the right spot in the scope. And, you know, voila, it was like, boom, it was over. The deer fell over. I did not have to, you know, go after it. It did not run off afterwards. My deer was actually paralyzed. I aimed for the shoulder, but I hit it a little bit above the shoulder. So, you know, it did hit the spine. So, you know, the deer was actually, you know, it was still alive when I went over to see her. So, you know, we had to take care of that. And so after that, we took pictures, of course, before we, you know, we had to take my picture, had to get my little minutes of fame in there. You know? Like, look at your girl. You know? But anyways, I had to get my little moment in and take my little pictures. We made a video before I went over to see the deer, which of course I'm going to put that in here. And everything worked out. And afterwards, I helped him. We dragged the deer to the end where the golf cart was, to the end of the road where we had parked. And I actually was, so excited. I had already, put it in my head that I was going to quarter this deer up, since I had watched two people do it prior to me doing mine. I was ready for that. So I actually did quarter the deer up. Me and my mentor hung the deer up on a tree outside, and I removed the hide also on the deer, as you can see here. And it was a wonderful feeling to be able to do that, because I've always, wondered about hides. I've always wanted to learn about hunting and stuff. I am really big on improving my survival skills, because I feel like that something may be coming in the near future, and that's all I will have to rely on. I honestly do feel that way. I feel like the creator is just guiding me in the direction for me starting to go hiking and being more comfortable out in the woods, because when you get older, we start getting scary, like, oh my gosh, these bugs. And when you're a child, you don't even think about that. So it's like I've just turned into a child. Like, I'm just gonna get out here and learn. I'm about to do this. I might get my hands a little dirty, but we're gonna be okay. So I was all for it, fascinated by it. Quartering the deer was great. It was a wonderful feeling. And I am definitely thankful that I had the opportunity to go with such a nice organization that is helping out the Black community. Well, I'm happy to be able to be a part of an organization that is promoting, positivity in the hunting, and especially introducing it to minorities. Because there are some of us, like ourselves, we've had, uncles and stuff that went hunting, but of course I never went hunting with them. I have family from Mississippi, so some of them hunt, but I never got to go hunting. I haven't known any other women in my family that went hunting. I went fishing with my aunt before, but they never hunted. My great grandmother had like farm animals, but I don't know if she ever went hunting. I never heard of that before, but Amaya hunts, so that's all that matters, I guess. And I am thankful that the creator provided a natural source of food for me. And I forgot to mention that, yes, I did pray before the deer even came. And it's like the deer showed up afterwards. But anyways, I'm glad to break out of my comfort zone, my bubble. I feel like did I really? I didn't even break out of my comfort zone. I found a new comfort zone, because now me being in the woods and being in nature, even since I've been hiking, has become so nurturing for me and helps me with my stress management strategies and pushing myself to continue developing the necessary skills that it's going to take for me to learn how to survive out in the wild. Okay. And I look forward to meeting new people. I like meeting new people, you guys, especially people on this journey of developing our survival skills. There are a lot of people out here that are always, talking about whatever stuff that they've been indoctrinated in all these different groups, and they go back and forth with each other and stuff. Man, forget all of that, y'all. Get out here in the woods. Go out in the woods. Go listen to the sounds of nature. Listen to your thoughts. Clear your head out. Go get you some nurturing, man. All that, if you just sit and listen to people talk all day, and it's like, if they're not promoting, your well-being and telling you or teaching you something about taking care of your health, your mind, your body, or trying to prepare you for what is to come, then they not talking about anything. You not missing nothing. These people be wanting to go back and forth. Everything else is going to fall into place. Once you start, taking care of yourself, if you get out here and you get into nature, whatever else, there are different activities and things, everything else in your life will fall into place. And you will find your purpose, and and the Most High will take care of everything else. And that's all I have to say. I don't want to make this a rant video of me just running on, but that's all.